Hello guys. This is your friend Itachi Fanfic 3.0 and we are back a new fanfic story which is What If Naruto Was a Beautiful Girl Part 3. Let's start fanfic without wasting more time. Part 3 begins in a time of fragile peace. The Great War is over, but peace does not feel permanent. The shinobi world stands on ground that still remembers blood. Villages rebuild. Alliances strengthen. And at the center of this new era stands Naruto Uzumaki. No longer a reckless child, but a young woman whose presence commands both admiration and awe. She has grown taller. Her golden hair now flows past her shoulders, often tied back during missions but loose when she walks through the village. Her blue eyes still shine with mischief, but there is depth in them now, the kind born from loss, forgiveness, and countless battles. People call her beautiful, but they also call her dangerous. Naruto no longer fights to prove herself. She fights because she understands what is at stake. Kurama's chakra rests inside her like a calm ocean instead of a raging storm. Their bond has matured into something almost sacred, not a weapon and host, but partners who have survived darkness together. Yet peace is never simple. Rumors begin to spread about a hidden faction, rogue shinobi who believe the current world order is weak. They seek to awaken an ancient source of chakra sealed long before the era of the tailed beasts. Unlike past enemies who sought domination, this group seeks purification, a world stripped of emotional weakness. To them, compassion is corruption. Naruto becomes aware of this threat during a joint mission with Sasuke. Their dynamic has changed drastically since childhood. Sasuke no longer sees her as the loud girl chasing him. He sees her as an equal, perhaps even as someone who surpassed him in emotional strength. During a confrontation with one of the faction's leaders, Naruto hears words that shake her. "Your kindness will be the reason this world collapses." She does not respond with anger. She smiles. Because she has heard that before. Back in Konoha, political tension rises. Some elders question whether Naruto's emotional leadership style is suitable for a world entering a new age of uncertainty. They respect her strength, but they fear her heart. Naruto feels the pressure. For the first time, she wonders, not if she can become Hokage, but if she can protect everyone once she does. This doubt lingers as the rogue faction makes its move. They infiltrate smaller villages, spreading ideology instead of destruction. They promise a world without betrayal, without heartbreak, without grief, a world where bonds are unnecessary. Naruto cannot accept that. She leads an alliance task force, working alongside Sakura, Shikamaru, and Sasuke. Her leadership is no longer loud or impulsive. She listens carefully. She trusts her team. She makes decisions with clarity. But the enemy's true plan soon reveals itself. They succeed in partially awakening the ancient chakra source, a massive entity born from concentrated negative emotions of generations past. It feeds on suppressed pain. The more people deny their emotions, the stronger it grows. And suddenly, Naruto understands. This is not a battle of strength. It is a battle of truth. As chaos spreads, Naruto confronts the entity directly. It manifests as a shifting form of dark energy, whispering doubts into her mind, reminding her of childhood loneliness, rejection, and fear. For a brief moment, she feels small again. The orphan. The outcast. The girl everyone underestimated. The entity tries to convince her that those scars define her weakness. But Naruto steps forward. They define my strength. Kurama lends her power, but not out of rage. Out of trust. Her chakra cloak surrounds her, glowing gold against the darkness. Yet her true power comes not from transformation, but from acceptance. She does not reject her pain. She embraces it. In a turning point unlike any other battle she has fought, Naruto begins speaking. Not to the enemy, but to the people connected to it. Through chakra resonance, she reaches the minds of those who have chosen emotional suppression. She reminds them. Grief means you loved. Anger means you cared. Fear means you want to protect something. Without emotions, there is no future worth saving. As more people reconnect with their feelings instead of burying them, the ancient entity weakens. It was never meant to exist in a world where pain is acknowledged instead of denied. The final clash is fierce but symbolic. Naruto channels all her chakra, her own and Kurama's, into a single massive Rasengan infused not with hatred, but with warmth. When it collides with the dark core, it does not explode violently. It dissolves it. Light replaces shadow. Silence follows. After the battle, Naruto collapses from exhaustion. Sasuke catches her before she hits the ground. For once, she allows herself to rest. The world slowly stabilizes again. But something has changed. The villages no longer see Naruto as just the hero of war. They see her as a guide for the future, someone who understands that strength without empathy leads to ruin. When the time comes for the Hokage ceremony, the village gathers in overwhelming numbers. Children sit on rooftops. Veterans stand proudly. Former skeptics bow their heads. Naruto stands before them, not as the loud dreamer who once demanded recognition, but as a woman who earned it. She does not give a long speech. She simply says, "I won't promise a world without pain. But I promise a world where no one has to face it alone." And that is what defines Part 3. Not beauty, not power, but maturity. Naruto as a beautiful girl does not change the heart of the story, it deepens it. Because in a world that often underestimates kindness, she proves that compassion is not weakness. It is the greatest strength of all. And thus begins the era of Hokage Naruto. A leader shaped by scars, guided by love, and strong enough to protect both. By the time Part 3 begins, Naruto Uzumaki is no longer the loud, reckless child of the academy days. She has grown into a young woman whose beauty is impossible to ignore, but whose spirit burns even brighter. Her golden hair falls longer now, framing sharp blue eyes that carry both warmth and battle-hardened resolve. Yet what makes her unforgettable is not her appearance, it is the unwavering promise she carries in her heart. The village of Konoha stands in an uneasy peace. Threats still linger in the shadows, and rumors spread of a new alliance forming beyond the borders. Naruto, now a respected shinobi, has trained tirelessly. She carries the power of Kurama with greater balance than ever before. The Nine Tails no longer feels like a curse within her, but a partner forged through trust and understanding. In this version of Part 3, Naruto's presence shifts the emotional dynamics of the world around her. Sasuke returns to the village after years of wandering. When he sees Naruto, no longer the impulsive girl chasing after him, but a confident kunoichi standing tall as an equal, something inside him changes. He expected the same stubborn child. Instead, he finds someone who has surpassed even his expectations. Their bond remains complicated, but it is no longer one-sided. Naruto does not chase him blindly. She stands beside him, challenging him, matching him. The villagers, too, see her differently. As a young woman, Naruto faces whispers and judgments that she never heard as a boy. Some question whether someone like her, loud, emotional, compassionate, can truly become Hokage. Others underestimate her strength because of her appearance. But every mission proves them wrong. When a powerful enemy emerges, a rogue shinobi who seeks to harness forbidden chakra experiments, Naruto leads the response team. Not because she demands attention, but because her leadership has naturally earned respect. In battle, she moves with grace and explosive force. Her Rasengan is refined, controlled, and devastating. When she activates her Kurama chakra mode, her figure is outlined in blazing golden light, almost ethereal. Enemies who once mocked her determination now tremble at the sight of her. But the heart of Part 3 is not just war. It is growth. Naruto begins to understand the weight of leadership. She sees younger ninja looking at her the same way she once looked at the third Hokage, with hope. That realization humbles her. Beauty fades, strength fluctuates, but legacy is built on the hearts you inspire. Sakura remains her closest friend. Their bond deepens into something unbreakable, two powerful kunoichi who stand as pillars of the new generation. Together they redefine what strength means in the shinobi world. Not cold detachment, not silent suffering, but resilience mixed with empathy. One of the most emotional turning points in this alternate Part 3 happens during a diplomatic summit between villages. Naruto speaks not as a reckless dreamer, but as a future Hokage. Her words carry sincerity, not politics. She reminds the leaders that children grow up believing what they are shown. If they show hatred, the next generation inherits war. If they show courage and unity, peace becomes possible. And for the first time, the room listens. Sasuke, standing at the edge of the shadows, realizes that Naruto has surpassed his darkness. She is no longer someone he needs to protect or push away. She is someone who saved him, not with force, but with unwavering belief. Yet challenges continue. An ancient enemy tied to the origins of chakra awakens. This threat is greater than anything before, not just physical, but ideological. The enemy believes emotions make humans weak. Naruto stands as living proof that emotions are humanity's greatest strength. The final confrontation of Part 3 is not simply about overpowering an opponent. It is about proving that compassion is not fragility. During the climactic battle, Naruto pushes beyond her limits. Kurama lends her everything. She stands battered but unbroken, protecting her comrades. When her strength nearly fails, it is not rage that fuels her. It is love for her village, her friends, and the promise she made as a child. I will become Hokage, she once shouted for attention. Now she whispers it as a vow. After the battle, peace does not arrive magically. Rebuilding takes time. Naruto helps reconstruct villages, personally visiting families affected by war. She understands pain because she lived it. Her beauty becomes irrelevant compared to her presence. Warm, steady, reliable. Eventually, when the time comes, she stands before the village as Hokage. Not because she was the strongest alone. Not because she was the most beautiful. But because she never gave up on anyone, not even herself. In this alternate Part 3, Naruto as a beautiful girl does not change the core of the story. She is still loud, still stubborn, still hopelessly determined. But the world changes in how it reacts to her. And she changes the world right back. Her story becomes a reminder that strength has many forms, and the brightest light can come from the person everyone once underestimated. And that is how